thought it happened a while ago, but it was made official today as Ronaldinho retires.
What?
From professional football. What a player he was. So, of course, winning the Ballon d'Or in 2005. A key figure in 2002 when Brazil won the World Cup. Twice FIFA World Player of the Year, won the Champions League, won the Copa Live, won the Serie A as well. He was special.
Yes, he was. And nobody can deny the fact that not only was he special on the field, he was also special off the field.
Yep.
He enjoyed himself and he enjoyed his career. Some people think, well, what might have been if he hadn't partied as much as he did? Perhaps partying was very much of what allowed him to express himself in the field the way he did.
He was fun. I think that's the one thing you take from Ronaldinho. Watching him was always an experience. He enjoyed it. You enjoyed watching him play. And yes, his off-the-field personality was reflected by the way he played.
Really?
What?
Really?
Yes, he's retired today.
No, we had this discussion. I'm telling you, it was 18 months ago. And that other studio with that crappy couch that we used to sit on.
Oh. Well, what's that got to do with anything?
Well, he retired.
Well, he's retired now. It's official.
Wait, he retired 18 months ago, whenever it was. I need to check the tape. How come he came back and now he's retired again?
That's it. He's done. He's retired.
Oh, good, good. Well done.
I like how you link his retirement to the couch.
That's it.
The couch is also retired.
Well, hopefully. We won't be talking about the couch again.
I don't know. You brought it up. You were the one who brought it up.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. Don't ask you about Ronaldinho.
No, I mean, we did it about death 18 months ago.
Well, he's back and now he's retired again.
Wish him luck. Best of luck, Ronald.
Everton spent a lot of money in the summer, but apparently it wasn't enough because suggestions in the UK is that Theo Walcott to Goodison is almost a done deal. Of course, a young man who had so much potential when he joined Arsenal from Southampton has never really fulfilled it. Could this be the step in which he needs to get up the level?
Well, it's a guessing game, but I think what we do know is if he plays consistently, he's better than what Everton has. And the other side of the coin is, this is the guy that just needs to get away from Arsenal because he's trousered an awful lot of money in new contracts for, let's be honest, in recent years not doing a lot. So he needs the move, and Sam Allardyce needs the players.
Yep. Is it good for Everton?
I think so. He brings pace, which they can, if utilised properly, gives them a different weapon. I still don't think Theo Walcott is any good through the middle. If Sam Allardyce uses him correctly, yes, it's a benefit.
28 years old is Theo Walcott nowadays. He's no longer a kid. It's no longer about potentials. Now it has to become a reality. He needs a change. He needs this moment to become what people have expected him to become. The time is now.
History was made in England in the Leicester game where a goal was given offside. VAR, though, overturned it. It's never happened before Leicester going on to beat Fleetwood. Of course, VAR expected to be introduced in the Premier League next year. Already this campaign, though, used in the Bundesliga. However, the players don't seem to like it. According to a kicker survey, when asked whether or not it should be eliminated, 47% said yeah, 42% said nine, and 11 said they don't know. Rav, why don't they like it? What's wrong with it?
What is don't know in German, I'm wondering.
Oh,
but,
I wonder who could tell us that.
But the reason why they don't like it, I think, is because the way it's been implemented. It's not that it doesn't get the right decisions, because it does. You look at the numbers, you look at the amount of time it's been used, and more often than not, they get it right. And of course, serious miscarriages of football justice have been averted. But at what price? The flow of the game has been disrupted too many times. Too many times players have celebrated, the crowd is celebrating. Suddenly, a minute later, someone has found something in the build-up 200 seconds before goal disallowed. No communication between VAR and the referee that's transparent. You don't know what they're talking about. You don't know why they're making a decision. You don't know why VAR sometimes doesn't get involved. And the spectacle of a referee second-guessing himself, using the monitor quite frequently, far too frequently, to actually look at decisions. So he blows for the penalty, then goes over, then looks at it again, then comes back, thinks, okay, I'm going to let it stand. On another occasion, he takes it back. So it's not that the idea is being rejected. It's the way it's been done. And I think a lot of teething problems that weren't anticipated and a lot of technological issues, for example, we still don't have calibrated offside lines. So one of the more simplest things that should have been sorted out because of a technological glitch in the Bundesliga, we haven't seen that. And then we're left with all the subjective decisions
Rafa,
and stuff
are you
not being
against
implemented
it?
properly.
It sounds like you're part of the 47%.
No, I'm actually for it. But I'm no longer supporting it unless they get the implementation right. I mean, it's been such a mess, and they changed their own sort of rules of engagement a couple of times, saying the referee should go over when he's not sure, to saying, no, he should definitely not go over to when he's not sure, to saying he should use it really sparsely. And, you know, everyone's really confused, and it's taken away more than we've gained. And I think, in a way, what it's shown so far is that people rather live with the odd mistake than with a constant sort of disruption and losing sort of the immediacy of a goal and of a penalty. It's been more painful than anticipated.
It's the euphoria aspect. It's like Ali when playing up front, scoring a goal, and runs away.
That doesn't happen often.
For 3 or 4 seconds or whatever it is, he's thinking, is that going to be chopped off? On the other side of the coin, ball gets played through, referee's assistant flag goes up for offside. 3 or 4 defenders switch off because the flag's gone up. Guy sticks it in the net when a defender may have been able to get back in and made the challenge, they review it, and actually it was onside. So there are lots of different facets that are going to be frustrating.
This is it. The big complaint in England today from those who were disappointed with the performance of VAR was it took a minute 44.
I thought it was a minute 9.
I mean,
minute 44 is what I read.
It's an imperfect system.
Well, why bring it up?
Well, I read it was a minute 9.
Okay.
You've just argued that for 35 seconds. It's an imperfect system, and to say that there were teething problems that people didn't anticipate, I'm not sure how or why you don't anticipate teething problems with a new technology like this. And to put things in perspective, the Dutch are the ones who ran the trials, who were the leaders in putting this on the IFAB table to
You're on the IFAB board for people who don't know.
I'm on the advisory panels. The Dutch don't use it in the Eredivisie. The Dutch use it in their cup games. But all of a sudden, the Bundesliga, Serie A, raced to the forefront to have this implemented, which I don't understand. Work these systems out. Let some of the smaller leagues experiment. Let them figure out the protocols, what needs to be better. And then you have it with these bigger leagues. I don't understand why the Bundesliga wouldn't think that there'd be these issues.
As a player, Ali, Craig brought it up, you score, there's the euphoria of scoring, and then obviously it's being checked, it might be overturned.
1 minute 44, you're right.
We got there in the end.
I apologise, I've had some duff information. Told you I'd find it.
You know, does it take it away? Would you prefer to be able to enjoy a goal more, however there may be more errors?
Well, I go back to something that Raf just said there, that teams feel like they're willing to live with a mistake, the odd mistake here and there, rather than the stoppages and the implementation issues that they're having. That's all fine and well until that odd mistake affects you personally and affects your team. And at that point, you're going to be yelling, hold on a second, we want VAR. We want this to be looked at. The truth is that you want the call to be right. You want the call to be right. And however that gets implemented, that's the issue. The way that the system is administered, that's where we have to get to. Yeah. The better we get with that, then the better that the players are going to be willing to say, you know what, this is part of the game now. This is part of our reality, and we're getting the calls right. In the end, I think players can live with that.
As I mentioned before, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang heavily linked to some people saying that it's pretty much a done deal for a move to Arsenal. What can you tell us the latest on this?
It's definitely not a done deal because Dortmund are yet to get a firm offer on the table. They understand that there's interest. The players very clearly interested. Dortmund are very close to the point where they feel it's going to be very hard for Aubameyang to be reintegrated into the squad after misbehaving a little bit. Having said all that, there's been a talk between him and Peter Stöger. They seem to have agreed that he's not going to do anything silly for the next few days. Also, I think in recognition that the Arsenal offer, hasn't come in and might never materialise, because who knows? If Arsenal get Mkhitaryan, if Arsenal get Malcolm, maybe they don't need Aubameyang. So I think at the moment it's a waiting game. Dortmund are seeing what Arsenal will do, and I think they're in two minds, because on the one hand it's a great opportunity to cash in on a player that they're a little bit tired of. On the other hand, mid-January is the worst time to be looking for another centre forward. So even with 60 million euros, what are Dortmund going to do with it? So I think at the moment I would say this is more unlikely to go through than likely, simply because we're Dortmund are in this.
How likely is it that he'd be a success at Arsenal, Raf?
I think this guy would be a success in most teams. I mean, I'm a big fan. I've been singing his praises on the show for a long time. There are problems with punctuality, with ill discipline, but on the pitch, he always delivers. I mean, the record of his goals speak for themselves. If you are pushing Lewandowski and sometimes doing better than him in the goal-scoring charts with a worse squad, you must be doing something right. It's not perhaps his greatest season, but then it goes for most of the Dortmund players. But I think with the right coach and the right team, he'd be amazing. Having said all that, I'm not quite sure how a front line with Giroud, Lacazette and Aubameyang is supposed to work. It looks a little bit strange to me to have these three guys all vying for positions. It doesn't seem like an automatic fit, I must say.
Norwich against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge tomorrow after that 0-0 draw. Chelsea 95% to advance according to the SBI. Ahead of the game, Conte was asked about why he keeps substituting Eden Hazard. The Italian had this to say: "It's not important. I am the coach. I decide. Only here in England is this important. My first task is to do the best for the team and the club, not to make every player happy." Talking about.
I don't get this, and he's not the first manager. I don't get this. Only here in England is it important. What utter garbage. Every country around the world, if you take your star player off and your team is struggling and it's not long after half-time, then no matter what country you're playing in, the fans are going to question it and the media are going to question it. So what the hell is he talking about?
So the focus here seems to be on Hazard's happiness and about obviously how he's not happy being substituted all the time.
That's fine. No player likes to get substituted all the time.
But isn't this part of man management?
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, part of management and part of Antonio Conte's remit is to make those big decisions. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. He now has to manage that situation as best he can. If the Diego Costa situation is anything to go by, he's not, left a lot to be desired there. He's got some work to do with Eden Hazard. But that's not his business, keeping Hazard happy.
Well, while it is his right and responsibility to pick the team and to pick the players that he thinks give Chelsea the best chance to win, it is also important that you have players that are willing to play for you. And so, while it is not his responsibility to keep Eden Hazard happy, it is much better if you have a happy locker room than if you don't. If you have a locker room filled with players that are going to go on the field willing to do the job that you ask them to do because they have not necessarily a friendly relationship with you, but at the very least have the respect of the manager. That, I think, is important.
But I would suggest, from Conte's perspective, whether he's going to be at Chelsea 5 months or 18 months, and it seems to be it would be the former, that when your star striker's having a stinker, keeping your star player in check and happy would be a key to solving the situation of a lack of goals. If you're not going to sign Alexis Sanchez in the transfer window, and it doesn't look likely, then you need to make sure Hazard is a happy camper, because Alvaro Morata is falling over his own feet at the moment, and he doesn't fancy Batshuayi.
Welcome to Extra Time. Shaka Hislop is indeed back,
Yes,
ladies and gentlemen, from his commercial shoots.
Reluctantly.
What do you mean? Well, reluctantly back, I bet.
Yeah.
How was it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Warm.
It was lovely.
What temperature was it?
Hot. Very hot.
You were the only person in this commercial.
Yes.
How many people? What was the team?
There's only one person.
No, but the crew all around it.
Oh,
Cameras.
uninteresting question.
Well, you ask an interesting question then. Well, there you are. I'm intrigued to know how big a project this was.
It was quite a big project.
And you were the center figure of this project.
I'm the main character in the commercial.
Wow.
Yes.
How did you swing that?
They just contacted me.
Just phoned you at home. In New England.
Phoned you at home.
All of a sudden you got a phone call.
I got a message. I got a text message asking if I would be available and willing to speak with The representatives.
All the people in the world. How'd you get it?
It's a legend in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, so oh yeah.
People have my number. It's not like they just picked a random number. Just type in any 10 digits there.
It leads us to our first tweet. When is ESPN FC doing a show on the road in the Caribbean? Don't let Shaka have all the fun, guys.
Good question.
Oh, we done.
Good question, Stephanie.
We'd do that in a heartbeat.
There is
Look out!
Shaka is on TV Productions.
Listen, there must be a launch for this commercial.
Yeah.
You'll go back for it?
If they'll have me, yes.
So we could do the show from...
I'm just saying.
Okay.
What put it for?
That's up to our bosses.
No,
that's not up to me.
Why are you being hesitant about it? Just
I'm
suggest
just
it.
saying.
What are you hiding?
Suggest it to who?
What are you hiding?
What could possibly go wrong?
Suggest it to who is my question.
A liquor launch with Craig Burley and Steve Nichol.
Yeah.
It rains a lot down there, though, doesn't it?
Well, that's the thing you're focusing on.
Why don't we go on trips
It rains
anymore?
sometimes.
We went on
I don't mean that trip.
before you came, actually. We went on quite a few trips.
Cruises? No.
Yeah, we did go on cruises.
What happened to the budget?
I don't know. Well, you came.
He hasn't
That
put it
just
on,
shows how much
spent it on
money
your
you get.
salary.
Yeah.
We do go on the odd one.
Cruise ship Craig.
Not cruise
ship
ships.
Craig.
No.
Yeah.
There we go. What's biggest, Shaka's love for goalkeepers or Craig's hate for everything?
Oh, no question. I mean, come on, we know that one.
Wow.
Everything? It's a persona.
No, it's just a persona. When he says
It's like an
that.
actor, isn't it? You just turn it on.
I love it. He's just there. Just
How deep into the day do you stay in character?
Listen, have you heard the saying, pot and kettle? Hey, Mr. Happy over here.
Yeah. Well, comparatively speaking.
God.
Stayed out to this one.
To be honest with you, I get extremely grumpy this time of year.
There's no golf.
No golf.
Oh yes, because in the summer you're just a ray of sunshine walking the offices.
Once he's played golf, he's all right.
No.
No, not with me.
No, playing golf with Craig is all right, yeah.
No, but when he comes off the course, it's not as if he walks in here and goes, "Oh, good."
What happens when you do 6 days a week? Sure.
Well, you don't do it 6 days a week.
Well, 5.
Well, then why did you say 6?
Show goes out 6 days a week.
Yeah, but you're only on it for 5.
Yeah.
And you're grumpy 7.
There you go.
In fact, you're only on the show
It's
4
all
days.
subject driven.
You're on the show 4 days a week.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm in on Sundays or Saturday.
You're not on the show, are you? We don't have a show
I'm still
on
here.
Saturday.
I'm still here. I'm still working. Just because you're sat at home in your backside, I'm here working. Right. Driving the train forward.
What train?
Exactly.
Choo-choo!
Exactly. Trying to steer the ship.
Oh, it's
It's
a
a
ship
ship
now.
on
Sat at home
train.
crying
It's a ship on train.
Sat at
Let's
home
get this right.
crying about Real Madrid or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm in here. Rolling my sleeves up.
Yeah.
Driving the ship train.
Yeah.
Where are you Sunday night? The ship docks.
Yeah. It doesn't even get to Sunday night. It just docks long before you boys come on air.
Oh, man.
Rafael Honigstein is with us.
Hey, Raph! Hey,
See,
Raph!
I can't believe that.
What, Raf's here?
Making Ralph hang about.
Because he's in London, obviously,
Yeah.
and it's late there.
It's
But our
late.
producer wanted his input.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly, Ralph.
He
Blame
gets
the
paid
producer.
overtime, Raph.
Blame
Raph gets
the
overtime.
producer, right? Should let him go. Man's got a family to go to.
Oh yeah, well, maybe he doesn't want to go to them.
Just give me a question. Just give me a question. Any question. Any question will do.
One question, then you can go.
Is a
Ralph.
contract extension a mistake for United to give Mourinho, or are they happy playing boring football?
Oh.
I think that's a bit unfair. There aren't that many obvious winners out there. Whether you like his football or not, he gets results. United are in need of big results, and they trust him. So I think it's fair enough.
What do you think? Mourinho, contract extension.
Well, we're running out of managers that can go around these big clubs. We are. I mean, you might throw Pochettino's hat in the ring.
How much longer does he have?
Sorry.
How much longer does he have on this one?
What? What was the answer? You give an answer?
Oh dear. Man City have won 1 out of their last 3 league games. Is this also the end of an era? The end of an era.
Save that for end of the season.
End of the season. Barcelona win everything. That's it.
So when you're sat in London like that, you just got to, Ralph, just got to get up and go.
He's nicer than you, though, isn't he?
I'm tempted.
I've done that. You know when I used to do it from London before I moved here? So it's you don't realise just sat here how late it is.
You know you're keeping Rap from going home right now,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. What you did? Shut. You only just arrived.
You just came home.
Listen, you're here.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, exactly.
but you see what they
What's that big
did
brown
to you,
envelope
Craig.
in your pocket, Shaq?
What, Ralph?
You see what they did to you.
What?
They made you stay. They made you come to the States and sit there every day.
Yes.
That was your reward.
Yeah. You're free to leave, Ralph. I've been
That's
told.
it. Raf, you can go. Shaq has gone. We're done. ESPN FC back tomorrow. Espanyol, Barcelona, Atleti, Sevilla, and
right.
Copa del Rey. Chelsea, Norwich in the FA
Goalkeepers,
Cup.
any goalkeepers tomorrow?
Snowing tomorrow as well.
It's going to snow
We're going to talk about
tomorrow.
Arsene Wenger. What we're doing, jailing him tomorrow?
Alexis Sanchez. 10 p.m. Eastern. We're on a little bit later.
Aubameyang.
Prime time. Prime time. Huh? ESPN News.
More transfer rumours for us to assess, or actually, it's up to Shaka to assess. Give us your hit and miss on these, Shaka. We've got Raja Nainggolan potentially weighing up a move to the Chinese Super League.
Oh! I'm going to put that down as a miss for very selfish reasons. I understand it's a lot of money, and I'd be tempted as well. But I'd love to see Nainggolan stay in Europe, play in one of the big leagues. I don't feel there are many better box-to-box midfielders in world football. Don't go out to China, not just yet. Put the contract on ice. That'll please me anyway.
They're talking about £10 million a year, and possibly he doesn't have to do it till the summer. Still a miss?
Might be a hit for him. I'll miss him. So I'm making a call here. I'm putting it down as a miss.
All right, Johnny Evans, will you miss him from West Brom? Alan Pardew said he could well go.
Well, you understand, this has been rumoured for quite some time. City just feel they need some kind of competition in centre halves. Johnny Evans has been very good at West Brom since his arrival there. I think Pep Guardiola could make him even better. I'll put that down as a hit.
Okay. Alexis Sanchez to Chelsea.
Yeah, and this is one, Chelsea, the late bidders or late entrants into this whole saga. I'm going to put this down as a miss just because I think he ends up in the Northwest, one of the 2 Manchester clubs. Don't get me wrong, I think he'd fit in without question at Chelsea, makes him a whole lot better. I just feel his future lies in the Northwest.
Okay, if he does go to Manchester United and if Mkhitaryan goes to Arsenal, would Mata still be in a position to be leaving United even though he wants to stay?
You know, I think Mata stays at United, so I'm going to put that down as a miss, I guess, as I don't agree with the statement. I just feel Mata is one of those talents, one of those creative players that Manchester United need. And I know he and Jose Mourinho have a little bit of history dating back to their time together at Chelsea. But he has featured. I'd keep him without question. Again, this is my decision. I'm keeping him at Old Trafford.
He's got an option to stay there, actually, or United have an option to keep him. He has been able to negotiate to leave in the summer if he wants to, at the moment, with that unsigned. Benteke to Chelsea. He's got 1 goal so far this season, Christian Benteke, but do Chelsea still need a striker? Is he the man?
Well, Chelsea probably need a backup striker. I think the amazing thing going on at Stamford Bridge is how little playing time Batshuayi has been getting. Morata has been up and down, and we've spoken about him over recent weeks. But the Joes just don't have somebody who's going to come in and at least fill that void or give them something else. Just somebody that they can call on, even for some of the cup competitions, which I know they're out of, but may want to call on. Maybe Benteke fills that void. I'm still going to put that down as a miss because I want somebody to come in and challenge my number 1 a bit more than Benteke's numbers would suggest. Still think Morata will be Chelsea's long-term number 1. I don't think Benteke challenges him enough despite the fact that, yes, they do need somebody to come in as a number 2. I'm going to leave that as a miss.
Yeah, it might be an expensive option for what they want from him. OK, well, that's Xhaka's verdict, and only Johnny Evans appears to be moving at the moment, possibly to Manchester City, possibly to Arsenal. We'll see what happens with all of these as well.